Happy Halloween! Oh, it's so nice to be back to this. We miss you guys so much. Catherine here, just checking in and dropping this episode that we recorded, I think over the summer. So pardon us if the references just don't make sense or feel very dated, given the fact that we did record this months and months ago. You may be wondering where we have been, what happened. We were not alien abducted, but I am also pregnant, just like Taylor. So it became a little bit too hard to manage with editing and producing and making these episodes. But do not fret, we will be back. We do have plans to come back and share more spooky, scary stories. So hang tight with us while we navigate all these new chapters in our lives. But just know that we miss you guys. We're thinking about the pod and just cannot wait to get back into it. But for now, happy Halloween and enjoy this episode. Welcome to Strange Gossip. I'm Catherine.
And I'm Taylor, and this is going to be like your friend's take on the weird.
Because we're tired of real life problems and want to talk about spooky shit.
Welcome to the paranormal episode. It's going to definitely get spooky this time.
I don't know about you, but when we talked at the end of the last episode and we're like, we got to make this spooky, I was like, I'm going to make this spooky.
Ooh,
it's about to get
I'm excited.
Spooky, scary in this podcast.
Mine is pretty creepy too. I like it specifically for me. I think it's creepy because it has like some semblance of the Hat Man a little bit. It's not.
Okay.
Because he's not coming for me this time. But
not welcome.
I'm here for the spooky. We haven't done paranormal, I feel like, in a while.
I know. Couldn't even tell you what the last paranormal thing we did was.
Uh-oh.
But to be honest, I couldn't tell you any.
I couldn't even tell you what I ate yesterday. We were talking about that yesterday, Trent and I was like, I'm going to have like Alzheimer's because I don't remember anything.
I don't either.
Short-term memory loss, like literally don't remember stuff.
But I feel like it's kind of, do you think it's gotten better or worse with pregnancy?
Worse. Okay. Your brain shrinks, like actually. Yeah, it's like literally a fact. Your brain shrinks because you're just like on preservation mode and like the only thing you should really care about is your baby. Fair.
Okay, man, facts.
So yeah,
I see the point.
The brain farts that I've been having is just also apparently
you're good.
Pregnancy rage, because I don't know about any of you, but if you listen to the last episode, the amount of F-bombs that I have dropped, I don't know what rage I was on. The hormones were going. So I apologize for that. We're going to try to edit that. But if it's still bad, we can make it a drinking game. So tell me how drunk you got.
100%. Oh my gosh, maybe we shouldn't bring it a drinking game because of how many.
No, we're going to land someone in the hospital. It was so bad.
Which is so funny because I just do not remember. Like I did not remember it being that bad at all.
I know, and I didn't even catch on when we were filming, but like watching it back, I was getting mad at myself.
You're like, stop.
Like, you know when you watch something and you're just like, how many, like someone saying like.
Mm-hmm. Me.
It was like that with like, fuck. I was like, girl, what's happening?
Are you okay?
Though,
but you were like, it was fair because you were passionate because they were talking about cheese and you love cheese. So the passion of cheese was there mixed with the anger of the pollution of balloons. It was just a passionate episode. It was a big episode of a lot of feelings. So it's fine.
So my bad for that. Not this episode.
I love it. Also, side note, I'm so distracted by this Jamba Juice and I always forget we're filming. So this whole time I'm like,
you can drink Jamba. I feel like that's totally fine as long as they sponsor us. Yeah,
for real.
Well, also I had Taco Bell today.
Oh, very on brand.
The Oura Ring and Natural Cycles, Taco Bell and Jamba Juice. That's all we need.
Please contact us.
I
really genuinely think our first million views video is about to hit, so come on Jamba,
which is absolutely crazy. So all of you that watched and like actually followed us on Instagram, thank you so much, because that literally came out of nowhere and so many people have opinions on the glitter. I had no idea.
Taylor really opened Pandora's box of glitter conspiracy theorists, but we're welcome. We're happy to have you, for real.
Yeah, no, we're super happy to have you. That's like exactly our type of content though. Like we go down these weird rabbit holes, so it's so perfect that it ended up being that video.
Did you see that comment? I can't remember where it was. It was probably on the Instagram. And some guy was like, oh, my feed is normally like these guys that are like super into these like insane conspiracies. And then I scroll and then I find the glitter and I was like, this is great.
I think he was like, I couldn't tell if he was being rude.
I didn't either.
Or,
I was like,
liked
I don't
us.
know if you're roasting us or not, but yes, facts. That's the point of this podcast.
I was like, well, yeah, exactly. You nailed it, bud.
Like we're tired of the men taking over the conversation about conspiracy theories and it just being
I'm
too
here for
serious. We're here for the goss.
Everybody talking about conspiracy theories.
Yes.
I don't mind that, but I think it's just like,
let the ladies gossip about the
let us
conspiracy
gossip.
theories. Come on.
And you know what? I bet you guys want to gossip about it too.
Yes.
So they're more than welcome. But yeah, I thought it was just hilarious.
I just
was
loved-
like, yeah, it would be us.
I
talking about
love
Twitter.
that. I was like, I'm happy we broke your feed. I'm happy if your feed was like getting a little too real, too serious, that we could kind of still talk about spooky stuff and things that like, you know, the
But be
glitter
fun about
conspiracy
it.
is, like that's kind of the point.
But like we cover it and not like we give you like the actual research, right?
course.
So like we actually go into like the details, which I feel like everybody's like, they didn't even like, you didn't even cover anything. I'm like, because it's on the
pod.
It's on the pod.
It's on the pod, baby.
It's a teaser.
It literally says, listen now. Oh, you know what? We're not going to explain the internet to the internet.
We love you all. Keep commenting.
Yeah.
It's great.
Thank you. And if you're new here, if you're kind of just joining us on this journey, hi, welcome. If you're old here, you're probably an old friend of ours. Thanks for still being around.
We love you guys too.
Love you all too. So magical.
Even if it's the same, like we have like no like new listeners or just like a following on Insta, it's fine.
It is. Well, it's just so funny that like I forget we record these and obviously I edit them. So I'm very actively doing this. But I just like will forget because we just talk. It's just
they
us
just go
talking.
out in
like,
the ether.
I don't
I know.
think about it at whatsoever. And then I was at a birthday party where someone brought it up, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like not a friend, like kind of an acquaintance. And I was like, "Whoa, this is so."
My
like,
work
freaky.
does that to me all the time. Like I'll be presenting or something. They'll be like, "Oh, like go listen to Taylor's podcast." I'm like,
You know what's
weird.
so I just did an interview for a client. Just to see if it was the right fit. I was brought on by an old friend of mine, and my podcast was mentioned, and I was like, I don't even have them as a client yet. What if they're like, this girl's out of her damn mind?
I swear, like any like new jobs, they're gonna like look up our name. They're gonna find this. And you know what?
Love it.
Communication is great.
Yeah.
Great presentation skills. Solid.
Done.
Can put together research. Great.
Correct. Yep.
You know? Check.
This is transferable skills. Can't tell me otherwise.
Exactly.
Hilarious.
Oh
All right,
my
Taylor. Well,
gosh.
for spooky summer, are you do you have any current topics before we jump into this?
I had a couple before we get spooky because these are not really super. Well, some of them are spooky. The debate was a little spooky. This is the first episode after listening to men talk about golf, which was fun. But I think other than that, I mean, there's not. Oh, it's the anniversary. We're just gonna breeze right past the debate. We're done. It's the anniversary of the airplane girl that saw. They're just like, you're fucking real.
That's been a year.
There
or
I
a
go,
couple
dropping another
years?
F-bomb. A year.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, I feel like that just happened, but at the same time, didn't we talk about that like super early?
On a pod.
Yeah.
But we haven't been filming for a year, have we?
No, that'll be in October.
Yeah.
But we're not far from October.
I know, which is crazy. So anyway,
gonna be
it's her
so
anniversary.
wild.
And she posted like on her Twitter, she's like, oh, it's been a year since I had my mental breakdown. But people keep saying that she was like replaced. That was like a whole thing because she looks different. She still looks different.
But does she still have her mad fashions that we were trying to copy? That's the question.
Yeah. I still look back and I'm like, that was a cute outfit, man.
Cute. Did she have a Go-Yard bag too?
Yeah, and I thought about getting one, and then I like came to my senses of like, do I really need a Go-Yard bag right now? I don't. So I never got one. But I did get the shirt and the pants.
But maybe you know how they talk about, what is it called? A push gift? Maybe it could be your push gift.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Same.
But then I'm going to be carrying around a diaper bag. It's just not even worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
so.
At that point, it's like, what's the actual usage of it? True.
Exactly.
True.
But other than that, your birthday is coming up.
It is. It's this weekend.
I know. That's so crazy. Are you doing anything?
So
just hanging?
Last year we had so for my 30th birthday, I had COVID. So I had to cancel all of my plans, which was awful. So last year we went out to the desert with some friends and had like a makeup.
Remember that?
Yeah, like a makeup for the 30th, missing my 30th party for my 31st. Wow. Complicated. Yes. And this year we were like, okay, we went so hard last year. Do we want to try and compete? And just the idea of that felt No.
It's exhausting.
It's so much.
Yeah.
And because we had been traveling so much and like the kitchen is finally getting in shape, like starting. Guys, it's still very, we'll see.
It's in the process.
It's in the process. Cabinets are getting ordered, so look at that. Things are happening.
That's a big step.
Things are I'm just going to post in feed once the kitchen is done. No caption, no context. So anyone that's in it will get to celebrate it.
We'll post it next to my son's first picture.
What is this, a podcast about kitchens and children? I don't know.
Yes.
But so we just decided that we're going to keep it super low key. We're going to a friend's birthday party the day before, so that'll be really fun. And then the day of, we're just David has a couple birthday plans for me. And one of my favorite places is having this special event every weekend throughout the summer. So we're going to go to that, which will be really cute. So keep it simple, keep it cute.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't do a lot for my birthday anymore. I just
well, your birthday's not too far after mine. What are you feeling?
Yeah, God, I don't even know. Nothing.
Yeah, nice. We like
I
this.
literally get food from somewhere and eat it in my house. Like that is my birthday celebration.
That sounds awesome though. I love that.
It's at the point where I'm like, whatever. I'm like in my I'll be 32. So it's like,
yep.
Or am I 32 or am I 31?
You're turning 30. You came a month after me. 32.
Okay. I do that a lot. This is what I'm saying. Memory problems. I don't even know how old I am.
That's hilarious. Well, it's so easy for me for you though, because we were in the same baby play group. So if I'm this age, you're this age. It's great.
Perfect. Love it.
Well, also, our husbands are also the same age.
Yeah, Trent's 32.
Yeah, and David is 32 later July. So I'm technically the cougar. Yes, hello. Thank you so much. I'm 15 days older, 15 days wider. Okay. Wiser. Well, talk about a slip.
I kind of like wider.
Talk about a slip there.
I am in. But really though, my thigh, I think this is a problem for a lot of girls, but my thighs are triple the size of Trent's thighs.
Pre-pregnancy or pregnancy?
All the time.
I mean, same. Yeah. Well, there used to be a time, because David used to be on the more lanky side, where he wore smaller pants than me. And I was like, this just feels
so
odd.
bizarre.
Feels
so bizarre.
Strange.
Trent, before I was pregnant, Trent and I weighed the same amount.
That's so trippy. That's kind of, yeah, we're not far. We're not far from each other. That's crazy. I mean, I think we're about 20 pounds different. But I feel like, I don't know. I think there's so much pressure. Wow, talk about a side tangent. There's always okay, perfect example. You know that trend that's I'm looking for a man in finance with a trust fund, 6'5", blue eyes. I think there's this idea to have these guys that are so much bigger than you and taller than you and all this stuff. But anyone I know that's actually had that mentality has had the worst luck in love and actually finding a relationship.
Okay, but did we cover this on the podcast? Because I can't remember. I swear we did, because when this came out, Trent was listening to it. It was it was going viral for a minute. Okay, he finally catches on. I hear it, and he's sitting there on his little chair. He's like, I'm all of those, but 6'5". And then we got into his height, and I was like, how tall do you think you are? And he's like, I'm 5'9". I'm like, no, you're not. He's like, yeah, no, I'm 5'9".
He's not 5'9".
Good for you, honey. We busted out the freaking measuring tape. He's 5'8", and he had he was having a crisis.
Oh,
he was
that's actually
no.
pretty tall. For some reason, maybe it's just because again, I grew up with you, grew up with him. I assumed he was way shorter.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Well, we're and then we'll try to measure each other. He'll look up. I'm like, Trent, you can't do that. That's hilarious.
So funny.
Anyway, so he had a whole thing of he was I fit everything but the height requirement. I'm like, it's okay, babe.
Well, I
still chose you.
David just listened to the episode where we call him a short queen, and he was crying. He was like, this is so stupid, but he was this is doesn't apply, obviously, but that's what makes it so chaotically fun.
It's so ridiculous.
So wild. Good supportive husbands putting up with us talking about whatever on the pod. That's what this is.
I know. Sorry, Trent.
All right. Any other current topics?
That's pretty much it.
I don't have anything besides that the Not Like Us Kendrick Lamar music video dropped, and it continues. The pettiness continues.
I haven't even watched it. I've given up. I'm a J. Cole. I just
yeah. You're at the beach. You're chilling.
I could
not be bothered.
Yeah. I'm done.
I love it. Okay, well then
Oh my
I'm going to kick off this spooky episode if you're ready.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get spooky.
And today I'm actually going to start with a couple of clips.
Ooh, love when we start with clips.
You're welcome, little one. You're welcome, little one.
Good job.
Monster.
No, like I said, I'm gonna have to do a rubbing of this because now I'm really curious.
Thanks for cleaning.
You're welcome. You are very welcome. Hello, spirits. Dad? No, I'm not your dad. I'm sorry for the confusion, Spirit. I'm not your dad. My name is John. I'd like to know if we can have a conversation.
So that
Over a century. Had another conversation.
Yes, a conversation. I'd like to speak with you if that's possible.
He's just keep. Please come.
Oh, I just heard please go. Sorry to bother you, Spirit. That usually happens when they mistake me for somebody else. Like a family member or something. I'll usually get a please go or a leave right after.
Have you ever?
Once I tell them I'm not who they think I am. Yo, Chris, thank you for fingering my heart. Ooh, wee. Chris, true player for real.
Fingering my heart. Fingering my heart.
Yeah, I think that's like one of his like
His things.
TikTok
But
things.
like, I appreciate that he's respectful. Like when he says please go, he's like, oh,
All right, I'm out. See ya. Thank
Yeah.
you. I know. I think that is actually kind of a good sign.
Yeah.
All of these clips come from a TikTok account called Santa Paranormal, who
Love that.
communicates through a spirit box to talk to the dead while cleaning graves. Since we are covering the paranormal this week, I figured I'd jump into the world of communicating with the dead through spirit boxes.
Yes, I love the spirit box.
Do you know anything about the history or the origin?
Not really. I know. Are you going to cover like the Estes method and stuff? That's like the new age one where like they put headphones on and it's like going through like radio frequencies and stuff. And they're blindfolded and you're like supposed to be like fully hypnotized and you just like repeat out what's being said. And like the person on the outside is talking to you and like it'll make sense. It's like the weirdest thing.
Okay, well, definitely need to dive into that one too.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much history, and we really get into it with the EVPs, and there's so many different ways. But I'm focusing on the origins of the spirit box. which is
Okay,
kind
I'm
of-
interested to know because I never really I don't know about it.
I know, me neither. And it's something that when I watch paranormal shows or ghost hunting shows, you see spirit boxes. You see that as like a normal,
Yeah.
typical equipment that they use. But I just have never asked, like, is that an old thing? Is that a new thing?
Yeah.
What's the story there?
Interesting.
So I came across this TikTok and I was like, you know what? There are so many TikToks and I'll fall down that rabbit hole all the time of, you know, paranormal and ghost hunters now, especially on social media. How are they communicating with the dead? And a lot of times it's the modern day spirit boxes.
Yeah.
Referred to as a spirit, ghost, or frank box, these devices quickly jump through AM radio channels at a very fast speed, mostly creating white noise. While you might get a syllable or even a short word, technically you wouldn't be able to get an emphasized word or definitely not a full response or sentence. What these boxes are looking for are EVPs, or electronic voice phenomena. EVPs are technically any ghost noise captured on an electrical recording, so that could really just be anything.
Our microphones right now.
Yeah, if we... Oh, hello? Could you imagine?
I know.
Believe it or not, this conversation about recording the dead has roots in the spiritualist movement that became popular in the 1840s through the 1940s. So popular that people were asking Thomas Edison if he thought it was possible and if he would construct such a device to try and capture conversations with departed loved ones.
Interesting. Can you create a light bulb and a way to communicate with the dead? Thank you.
Our asks aren't that big. Calm down. We're looking
Figure
for
it
light and we're
out.
looking for conversations with the dead.
He's like, I can only deliver the light.
Beggars can't be choosers, okay?
Okay, I'll take it.
So we have no proof that he actually tried to invent such a device, but he did state that he believed it to be more realistic than Ouija boards, which were popular during the spiritualism movement.
Yeah, interesting.
From there, different types of technology were invented to try and create a connection with the dead. But one that seems to be still insanely popular, especially on TikTok, is our friend the Spirit Box. Mm-hmm. Created in 2002 by EVP enthusiast Frank Sumption, which is why a name for the Spirit Box is a Frank box.
Oh, interesting.
He claimed to receive his design instructions from another world.
Okay.
He made 100. He made 180 of the original devices and didn't go out to sell them, but randomly distributed them within the paranormal community in hopes of creating true connections. What's interesting about Frank, though, is that he didn't necessarily believe he was communicating with the dead, but aliens.
Oh, I love that. All the ghosts are aliens.
He was more in the party of, I'm using this device because aliens are reaching out to me, not ghosts.
Oh, I can see that.
Which is so...
I can see why you would think that.
But what I love about it is that I've only thought about spirit boxes as spirit boxes, like people from the dead.
Yeah, it never really went to aliens for me either. But I kind of but that's also, everybody's like, oh, they're going to send some type of radio frequency. That's why we have the big things to like catch if anything comes through from the universe.
Exactly.
So,
and I do not remember when I mentioned this on the pod, but when my dad got David an EMF reader,
yes,
he was way more excited about the potential of finding a Bigfoot than a ghost.
with an EMF.
Yes, apparently,
Interesting.
if you're in the party of Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature, apparently EMF
Right.
readers can read that. So that's kind of so
Okay.
much of this equipment plays in both worlds, but I've never
Yeah.
thought of spirit boxes being alien related. So
Neither have I. Yeah, that's a doo-doo right there.
right? Legend goes that he was told he was of alien origins, and that's
good
why
Lord.
he was chosen to create such a device for communications. Finding credible research on this was extremely hard, obviously.
Yeah.
So take all of today's research with a grain of salt. But I found a website that has a lot of information about Frank and his research, including a message he received about a week before he passed. I'm going to play you the clip now to see if you can make out what it is saying.
Okay.
Just so you have an idea of what to look out for, it is one sentence repeated 6 times, getting slower each time.
Okay, that freaks me out. Let's see.
Back. Switch. Back. Switch. Back. Switch. Back. Switch. Back. Switch. Back. Switch.
Anything?
I don't know.
Okay, that's...
I'm coming up blank on that one.
Well, I figured because even when I heard it back and knew what it was saying, I couldn't catch on.
So that, okay, so
valid
it
test of
came
this.
through once, right? And then it was them slowing it down so you could try to understand it?
Correct.
Okay. I don't know. I have zero clue what that said.
So in the sentence, what you're supposed to hear is, quote, "In fact, you must leave this month," end quote.
No.
The story goes that the aliens were warning Frank of him leaving his earthly form. I'll play it once more so you can...
Okay.
Back. Switch.
I mean, I can see why he thinks it's aliens because it's like very like, it's almost like techno-y. But also, like, I can hear the in fact part, but the rest, it's like that's a reach.
I was able to hear the in fact leave in like a bit of month, but that was listening to it over and over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again. So it's kind of hard to gauge.
That's an interesting one. I don't know.
Frank's boxes weren't just audio. Some boxes claimed to receive images. Here's a clip
weird.
that Frank caught of a shadow man trying to communicate. Yeah, we hate that already. Let me tell you.
Don't love that. Ew, he's got a hat on. Fucking in a hurricane. Okay, but it's the image of the Hat Man, right? That you're seeing?
Well, that's what it captured on the device.
Ew, I hate that.
So creepy, and we hate it here. I didn't even put two and two together. That's probably the Hat Man.
Yeah, girl. Any hat-like creature, I'm like, it's a Hat Man.
And it's Shadow Man, which, hello. What episode was that? Like episode 2, 3?
Yeah, yeah.
So we have that. Hated that one. I was like, well,
Ew.
I'll have a nightmare about that later for sure.
Yeah, don't like that.
Here is a clip of the last of Frank's boxes, box 180, used by Tim Woolworth.
It's July 17th. This is Frank's Box 180. Let's give it a shot. It's a copper-lined box with copper handles, built-in echo. I'm going to start it off on FM mode, and it's also a homebrew tuner, which means Frank built it from scratch. So let's check this out. Hello?
Interesting. So at that point, did he still think it was aliens?
Which one? Tim
Frank
or
did.
Frank? I think he, from what I understand, because there really is such limited research.
Yeah.
Although there is a book that I was like, man, if I only gave myself like a couple weeks out
To read.
because just to get like it's like I don't think it's published through Amazon Prime, so you have to wait like a
you have
month to
ship
get
it
it.
a weird way.
But
Yeah.
from what I understand, he believed that it could be used for other paranormal researching and for ghosts
okay.
and other dimension worlds, but he was really of the belief that he was communicating with aliens.
But he thought that the aliens were speaking English?
Yes. Well, he believed, and I
That is
couldn't.
an American right there.
Very great point. Well, I couldn't imagine that, like, how I don't know how they communicated it to him to build the device in the first place, and I couldn't find it anywhere, which was driving me crazy.
that's
Because I'm like,
interesting.
how did that happen? Like, how did he get it initially? And I don't even think the book covers that, but that is the story. The story goes that he received
Interesting.
the knowledge, whether that was through a dream or
Yeah.
through communicating in his own way, but that's how he started creating these boxes.
Interesting. You know what? I think those are actually, I would have to look to be sure, but I think they're at the Zach Baggins Haunted Museum. Because I remember I went on that tour. We went into this room that had all of like the spirit communication devices.
Oh, I'd believe it for sure, because it's a huge...
It was weird. Yeah.
Oh, that's so... I would be so fascinated.
and I kind of remember, it looks like a cheese grater. I kind of remember seeing stuff like that in there.
I would believe it because...
We should go.
We
I think we
definitely
talked
should
about
go.
this, but like there was that happened while we were on that tour, and I was like, hell no, it was scary.
I believe it. We definitely should go. I'm so down.
Yeah.
I'm so scared. But I would believe it because these boxes, because there's only 180 of them,
Yeah.
And he didn't sell
They're like
them.
collectors.
He gave them
Yeah.
out. So, and he built the first one in 2002. So,
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're talking, and he passed away, unfortunately, in 2014. So I think that's the last box he made was in 2014. So it really is a
Interesting.
huge collector's item. And previously, yes, there were different devices to communicate and get EVPs, but in the modern day AM, FM scanning radios, really he is the pioneer of that. So we really have him
Interesting.
to thank for that.
Yeah.
And truly, thanks to his inventions, versions of the original spirit boxes are now. Oh, hello. Oh, no, this is right. Thanks to Frank and his invention, versions of the original spirit boxes are now a must-have for paranormal researchers.
Yeah.
Even today, with phone apps claiming to be able to help users communicate with the dead in the same way Frank began, which is a lot of the TikTokers. A lot
A lot of people say those apps are like so fake.
Oh, totally. I actually watched a video of a psychic medium that was explaining how to use those apps and was
Yeah.
debunking which ones are real and which ones aren't, because apparently there's a lot of them where it's just audio tracks to scare you.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. Just to
Yeah.
freak you out. Which that totally makes sense to me. But
It tracks.
she
yeah.
does claim that you can find real apps to use that are credible.
Interesting. I mean, is she credible?
I mean, to my next point, of course, no
she's
surprise
like,
here.
I'm so right. This is why you should trust me.
And buy my specific app, right? Like,
yes. Just got a
Sure.
hand in the app.
for sure. I'll be smart. Of course, no surprise here, spirit boxes have been met with a ton of criticism. Many believe that you only hear what you want to hear, that ghosts aren't communicating, but the human brain is drawing together connections that aren't actually there.
That's kind of what mine has too, but in like your sight instead of your hearing.
For which one?
For my topic.
Oh, I saw. See. While some paranormal researchers have thrown out the use of spirit boxes entirely, many mediums and ghost hunters rely solely on spirit boxes. So it's really up for debate. A lot of people have compared it to Ouija boards. So it
Yeah.
kind of falls into this category of like, okay, if you believe in Ouija boards, you might be more willing to believe
Did
in
you
spirit boxes.
I'm done. That's fine. I heard something. I'm probably just freaking myself out.
What'd you hear?
You're giving me anxiety. I heard a tap.
You said spooky summer.
It's a spooky summer. Are we partying?
Are we raging?
Are you gonna speak into the mic? Let's go. Oh my god.
Hello? I'm just gonna put a bite in there to freak people out.
Oh my god.
Okay. So what do you think? Where are you in the spirit box camp?
It's hard because I definitely I believe in ghosts. So it's like, and I love the paranormal YouTube channels that go and ghost hunt, and
So fun.
EVPs are creepy, and sometimes you're but part of me is they're just catching random. But the radio's going off and it's just catching random things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? But when they start communicating and it starts making sense, that's when it gets weird. But now they've updated their devices where it cuts out all that the static noise and just will speak a word.
Which is so wild. I mean, truly
Right.
from where, I remember watching Ghost Hunters way back and
Yeah.
the TV show. And I mean, there's something just naturally scary about the stuttering noise as it is. Regardless of anything creepy being said, a stuttering noise. Okay, you're freaking me
Sorry.
out, Taylor.
Troy just got home, I think. Hi, boob. I'm filming the podcast. Okay, lurd it.
I'm glad that the tap was
A
him.
package? Don't touch it.
What was the package?
Oh, I don't think it was him. It's baby clothes.
Aww. The pizza one?
I know. No, I already have the cheese one.
Yeah, the cheese one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was cheese.
It's cheese.
It's
Everything
always
is
cheese. But that's what I have for today. I mean, I think I want to cover in another episode the most proven EVPs.
Yeah.
Because I just think
that'd
that'll be
cool.
really fun too. But I was kind of going in that direction, and then I was like, whoa, there's so much just on this guy alone.
Right.
I was like, let's
Yeah, that's
start
kinda
here
crazy.
and jump into the next one. So this might be a part 2 to the
Well,
next time.
And the fact that he thought that it was aliens, like that's the first time I've ever heard of that. So that's definitely interesting.
Right? I was like, whoa.
And it's crazy how he's the one that developed it and then he thought of aliens.
Right? Like, and then it was just used for other reasons. And I mean, I do really genuinely love that he wasn't out to make money. He really didn't like a lot of attention. He's kind of explained to be a prickly kind of character. And so it really doesn't sound like he was very, you know, in for the fame and trying to sell these things. Like, he was genuinely trying to make a connection to something he believed. And to see it kind of go so far that now that TikTok, I could see all these TikToks about these things. It's wild.
It's because he got taken to the other universe, or he's with the aliens and he's communicating back to people how to make it better and better and better.
Could be, but that's all I got today.
Okay, I love it. I never knew that that's where they came from, so that's pretty crazy because I listen to this stuff all the time, so I appreciate the history
I got you.
lesson.
And I thought it was so fascinating. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was building stuff with imagery, like that Hat Man figure.
Right.
Like, if he,
and the fucking Hat Man. Of course, it's a fucking Hat
and
Man.
he captured that.
Always.
That wasn't.
That's creepy.
That was teleported in, I guess. I don't know.
I
don't love
mean,
it. Don't love it.
Don't love him
Obviously.
making an appearance.
Get the green machine vacuum back out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I need to bust it back out. Mine is kind of similar though. So have you heard of the Dark Watchers?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like you probably have because they're very California based. So today
talked about
we're
it.
journeying. I think I've told you about it.
I think that's it because I don't remember anything about it.
I know. I think I talked about it. I was like, I need to cover this.
Okay.
Maybe that's how you've heard about it. But today we're journeying. Today we are journeying to the rugged and beautiful Santa Lucia Mountains of California to uncover the legend of the Dark Watchers. Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain ridge, the sun dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows over the landscape. In the twilight, you notice a tall, dark figure standing still, watching you from a distance. As you try to get a closer look, it vanishes without a trace. You've just encountered one of California's most mysterious phenomenon, the Dark Watchers. The Dark Watchers are shadowy figures that have been reported in Santa Lucia Mountains for centuries. Described as tall, cloaked beings, they are said to silently observe travelers from the peaks and ridges. But who or what are these enigmatic watchers? I'm going to first show you some pictures so you can get an idea of what the Dark Watchers look like and where they're known to kind of inhabit. Okay, so here is kind of obviously Monterey. This is where the Santa Lucia range is. So it's right off Big Sur. But they're said to be all over California a little bit, but this is their main area. So this is what the terrain looks like.
Gorgeous.
Sometimes it's foggy.
Wow.
And it's definitely it's your quintessential Big Sur kind of on these ridges and stuff. But here they are.
But tell me that's not the Hat Man, though.
Right? We'll get into that. But they're definitely tall. So the claims are 7 to 15 feet usually.
Okay.
This one's weird. And there's actually an explanation for this.
Whoa.
And then
Whoa.
they kind of give me wizard vibes.
They totally, and that gives me Slenderman Hat Man.
Right. So they're just a kind of a couple of different weird, I don't know.
Don't love it.
They're definitely creepy looking and I wouldn't want to see one.
It definitely is giving wizard, though. Some of those do look kind of like cliffside wizards.
Yeah. I kind of love that.
I do too.
I hope that's what they are. But the legend of the Dark Watchers dates back to indigenous Chumash people who inhabited the central and southern coastal regions of California. The Chumash referred to these beings as the Old Ones, mysterious entities who silently watched over the land. When Spanish settlers arrived in the area, they too reported sightings of these shadowy figures. They called them Los Vigilantes Oscuros, the Dark Watchers. The legend continues to grow with sightings being passed down through generations.
Wow.
Yeah. So the Dark Watchers have also found their way into literature, capturing the imaginations of writers and poets. John Steinbeck, the famed author of The California Native, mentioned them in his short story Flight. In the story, a character encounters the Watchers, described them as a silent, motionless figure standing against the sky. Also, Robinson Jeffers, a poet known for his works about the California coast, also referenced the Dark Watchers in his poetry. These literary mentions have helped cement the Dark Watchers as a fascinating and eerie part of the California folklore.
Wild.
So what could explain these mysterious sightings? There are several theories. One possibility is optical illusion. The interplay of light and shadows at dusk and dawn can create shapes that resemble human figures. Combined with the rugged, uneven terrain of the Santa Lucia Mountains, it's easy to see how natural formations could be mistaken for something more mysterious. I feel like that's a stretch. But another explanation is it's called pareidolia. I think you've probably heard of it. It's like the psychological phenomenon where your brain interprets like random patterns as familiar shapes and faces, like human figures. So like the same thing where like if you're looking at a cloud and you're like, that's a clown.
I think I actually had that word
stuff?
come up in my research for my story.
But that's why I was like,
I don't want to say this out loud. So good for you, girl. I'm really proud of you.
I was like, I'm going to figure it out.
Nailed
I said it wrong.
You nailed it. I literally,
But
good
this
for you.
could play.
I think that was the same thing.
Could definitely play a role in it. I feel like it could be like a tree that you're just kind of seeing. A lot of people say they come when it's like really foggy. So like you could
And
just
the
like,
light's tricking your eyes too. So if you're seeing like a rock formation or like some kind of shape that's kind of funky. But the fact that it's always
so
the same.
many people.
Yeah, the same
Yeah.
shape over and over. Like they all seem the
that
same.
weirds me out. Yeah. So I don't know. It could be that. There's some funny ones though of that like psychological phenomenon. Like basically bell peppers, if you cut them down the middle, they can kind of look like faces sometimes. Or like the people that have seen like faces in like their coffee and stuff.
Or like the outlet smiling. I totally know.
Yes,
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah, this is.
So-
I saw the same wiki page.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
So
yeah.
I know. I love it. I think that's really cute. I don't know if that's exactly what this is, because why would you be picturing like
And it's kind of like
a Hatman figure?
Wouldn't this kind of apply everywhere? Like,
Right.
wouldn't there be, like, this is reminding me a lot of Night Marchers. Like, I'm getting Night Marcher
Yeah,
vibes.
it kind of gave me Night Marcher vibes too.
like protecting the
Like
land.
kind of in an interesting.
Yeah, sums up.
Yeah. So some suggest that there's a sense of being watched or seeing figures that can be psychologically a response to the isolation, eerie atmosphere of the mountains. So when you're alone in a remote, wild place, your mind can play tricks on you. Yeah, sometimes I can get that. Like I obviously just got creeped out, so like maybe that's like something to be thinking of, but I don't know. Despite all of these rational explanations, the legend of the Dark Watchers persists. Many hikers and locals continue to report sightings and share their stories of eerie encounters with these shadowy figures. One notable account comes from a California school teacher named Harry K. Thomas. In the 1960s, Thomas reported seeing a tall, dark figure on a ridge while hiking in Santa Lucia Mountains. He described the figure as wearing a wide-brimmed hat and cape. Then Thomas tried to approach the figure and it disappeared into thin air.
Wow. See, that's not like a rock formation.
Correct.
Like, why would it
Your rock
disappear?
formation is not going to just disappear.
Yeah.
Also, like, why is it wearing a hat? Anyway,
is it always a
another
hat?
intriguing story.
Fedoras
It's
are
always a
out, guys.
Get out of here. Another intriguing story is from Monterey Peninsula local named James Ruiz. In the early 2000s, Ruiz and his family were hiking in the mountains when they spotted a group of dark human-like figures standing on a distant ridge. As they watched, the figures seemed to slowly vanish into the fog, leaving Ruiz and his friends feeling both awed and unsettled. I don't know what I looked too, just so you're aware. Like I kind of did like a search, like real footage of the Dark Watchers. I couldn't find any caught on camera footage. There was this one guy on TikTok who like caught like an SOS light up in the mountains, but that could have just been like a hiker.
Yeah, it sounds like someone needed some help.
Yeah, and he's just like, "Is it the Dark Watchers?" I'm like, "You should probably
Check on that guy.
But there's no like real like besides the pictures I showed you, but those are like artistic renderings, right? So, and they're pretty elusive, so that might be why.
But again, Night Marchers, it's kind of giving like...
Night Marchers, like they're not super elusive. They're gonna walk up on your house.
That's true, but it's just hard to find like footage of the night. Well, you shouldn't for the legend of the Night Marcher.
There's one I think one piece of evidence from the Night Marchers.
Ooh.
That's online.
Oh, so
but I
scary.
think what's different too about this and like the Hat Man is the Hat Man is also not scared to like be up in your face.
Yeah.
And like you'll look at him and he won't go away.
I feel like
Whereas
Hat Man,
like
there is
this they do.
there is a bit of footage and there's more nefarious
Yes.
feelings and
It feels like, he feels more evil, whereas these feel more like they're watching,
yeah, maybe
maybe not rude.
they're just protecting the land. Maybe there's something like significant
Could be something
lost to
like
time that of the
Maybe
area.
they're giants. I don't
Don't
know.
get my hopes up. That and woolly mammoths. Let's get those.
That and the woolly mammoths in Big Sur.
Big Sur.
Hey,
Oh my God, beautiful.
I know.
Cute.
It's a great place to be. Good job, guys.
Moving there. That and the cheese caves.
Well, yeah, for real. Well, whether the Dark Watchers are an optical illusion, products of our imagination, or something more mysterious, they remain an intriguing part of the California folklore. Their silent presence and the rugged beauty of the Santa Lucia Mountains continues to captivate and mystify those that encounter them. So I want to ask, because I know we probably have a bit of viewers that live in California, if anybody's seen a Dark Watcher or had like a mysterious encounter with something maybe similar here. If you have, send us a DM.
Please,
reach
please.
out, or an email. Just get a hold of us somehow, because I want to know. Because there's not a ton of there's real life accounts that I've seen, but there's no footage of anything, which makes sense. Like we talked about, they could just be like, we're not being filmed, peace out. But it's interesting.
so interesting. Yeah, I would love if you have any spooky stories, send it to us.
Yeah,
I'd love
we
to
should.
start
I want to
doing
do like
that.
spooky, creepy, listener. I don't want to call it listener stories because there's a lot of people that have that term. But
We'll find our
I
own
feel
term.
like,
But yes, well,
Yeah.
we had the one woman comment on our TikTok or Instagram.
yeah, that she's part of the Bell family.
Yes, from
I was
whatever
like,
episode
what?
that was. Then I covered
Yeah,
one of the biggest
the Bell
hauntings,
Witch.
in American history. And she's like, "That's actually my family." I'm like,
What?
it's like a famous
you
person
okay?
messaging us. It's like,
It's pretty crazy.
crazy. So I'd
love
love
that.
Dark Watcher stories too. I just send us
Yeah.
everything. We want it all.
For sure. I think it's interesting because it's that's one of California's biggest known paranormal things.
For sure. It's so spooky.
Yeah.
But possibly good.
is spooky.
But possibly.
Yeah, I don't know why you would call it a Dark Watcher
That's true.
if it was giving you cozy vibes.
That's just not like a Hugo Watcher.
Yeah, I feel like everybody that the indigenous tribes and the Spanish settlers were like, that's bizarre.
That's not a fun feeling. Yeah, I'm not really getting
Maybe they're protecting a portal.
ooh, I love a portal.
I'm just coming up with theories.
Which is also, again, very night marchers. They're protecting portals.
Yeah, that's true. They're protecting sacred areas.
Maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's more. I would be curious to know if there's, because so much lore is regional, but some of them kind of
Yeah.
do cross over.
Well, I was talking with Wendy about this, one of the friends of the pod.
Shout out Wendy. Hey, girl.
We need to have her on for, by the way, a Mexican episode because we were talking about the things. She's from Mexico, by the way, if anybody doesn't know. Obviously they don't know, but she has a ton of lore of La Llorona and all these little things. They had their own version of, why am I blanking on this?
Menehune?
The Menehune, yes. And she saw one with her sister. So just straight up actually saw that. And there's just so many different things that are in so many different cultures, but called different things. There's a ghost there that will get in the back of your car. Does that remind you
Just
of
like
anything in
Pele.
Hawaii?
Wow.
Right. So I was like, okay. And it's weird because if you look into it, there's so many different cultures that have similar ghosts that are just titled differently, but they do the same things. What is a doo-doo-doo-doo?
The doo-doo-doo-doo. Wait, I thought we had one.
I feel like we did. The aliens and the EMF. Oh, my Hat Man.
Hat Man.
He's definitely a doo-doo-doo-doo thing.
Yeah, something about these
Right
dark,
now.
shadowy figures are definitely in
Don't love
both of
it.
them.
Why are they wearing hats? Why are they wearing capes? What is it about that?
Jason Mraz. Jason Mraz was the pioneer
Yeah.
of the fedora hat of 2006 and 2007.
I think this predates him. Maybe he took
Maybe.
he took inspiration.
Wait, that's hilarious. What other doo-doo-doo-doos? Okay, so we have California. Not really.
No. Yeah, I feel like it's a Hat Man on
It
this
really
one.
is, which is the worst one to connect. But that is
Yeah.
our doo-doo-doo
Yeah.
of the day.
Yeah, don't love that.
Spooky. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.